Saw a video on Twitter the other day, and the context that was provided with the video was there were these climate activists sitting in a line on the road like they do. And there's this other guy who drove through the crowd. He obviously didn't run people over on purpose. He bumped up to them, inch, and when there was a gap, he shot right through. No one got hurt. But the context I was given with the video is he was driving to go and get his pregnant wife so that she can go to the fucking hospital. And the guy in the comments is like, is this man justified for what he did? I have a better question. The climate activists who are sitting there in the middle of the road, annoying more people than they are converting people to the cause, over climate change, which, by the way, has been happening for fucking eons, are they justified for what they're doing? Let me dive into this. First, it was acid rain is going to come and kill us all. Then it was the ice caps are melting and we're all going to drown. Then it was the ozone layer is deteriorating and we're all going to be burned to a crisp by the sun. And when none of that actually happened and people stopped believing it, they were like, what's next? Climate change. The climate changes. People can't deny that. We'll just say it was man-made. Motherfucker, I live in Wisconsin. The weather is as bipolar as it gets here. I, in the last 3 days, have experienced all of the seasons at once. It went from 75 and sunny to 32 and freezing rain to today, 25 degrees outside. It's colder than a witch's tit out there. 3 days. The climate has changed that much. Was that man-made? No, that's just weather doing its thing. Weather doing its thing. Does this mean that humanity does not pollute at all? No, they do. But you're looking at the wrong nations. European nations, Western nations, by and large, i.e. America and the European nations and all that fun stuff, they barely pollute when you compare it to China and India. The amount of garbage those two nations are throwing in the ocean, the amount of soot that they're launching into the atmosphere, it's astronomical compared to our nations. And yet people are still trying to restrict their own lives here in America and over in Europe. Europe's fallen. I won't get into that. But either way, people are restricting their own lives for the sake of climate change. When really, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Because the climate has always been changing. Always. How stupid must you be to believe that the climate changing, which it's inevitably going to do, you cannot stop it, is somehow a result of you driving a car. Brother. These same activists, I'll guarantee, rode in a vehicle, a car, or cars plural, to get to where they were, and then they sat in the road with a line of cars in front of them, who all left their engines on, by the way, sitting there, shooting fumes into the atmosphere, more fumes, I would argue, than they would have shot into the atmosphere if the activists wouldn't have been there to begin with and those people could have just drove to their location. All of those activists were wearing jackets, which means it was cold outside. You think I'm going to sit in my car and not leave the engine running so that I can stay warm until you get the fuck out of the way because you need to go eat some Twinkies? Genuine question, my friend. The answer is no. But these people buy into the emotional story that's purported to them by the media propaganda machine. And then they sit there thinking they're making a difference when in reality, they're doing fuck all. They're actually hurting the environment more than they're helping it. They're hurting their cause more than they're helping it. They're hurting their own reputations more than they are helping them. I found it oddly amusing to see that guy nudge forward slowly but surely, and when there was a gap, he just took the fuck off. Whether it's true that he was going after his pregnant wife to take her to the hospital or not is irrelevant. I found that funny. I laughed. Because that's exactly what everyone should do. Inch forward ever so slightly. They'll move. They're not prepared to sacrifice their lives for the cause, believe me. But that's a whole different rant. That's a whole different topic. That's a whole different conversation. The point I'm making in this video, I think I've made quite clear. My name is Christopher Strobach. I get on here and I rant about anecdotal mindsets I happen to have that I find are extremely useful to me. My whole being is that they're extremely useful to you. If you found any value in anything that I just said, the only thing I want to ask is that you make use of it. If you want to connect with me, talk to me, message me, anything along those lines, there are buttons in the description. Click the buttons below my face. Don't click the buttons below my face. I don't really care. What I do care about is that you get after it, kick some ass, and I'll see you in the next one.